Warning, this edition of TSR contains an image of a sexually suggestive nature and is not intended for younger audiences. Never mind the incessant background noise. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to this week's Roses and Rosewood on the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing the Bachelor, Roses, and Pretty Little Liars, Rosewood, home on a budget in the form of Entertainment Weekly this year. And thank you for joining me for this MLK Jr. Day edition. At the end of the show, I'll have a word on polyamorous relationships and how Dr. Kate's message of equality for all still applies. Sorry, that sounds a little bit like Jerry Springer. But for now, let's have a little bit of fun with the July 18, 2014 and March 4, 2011 issues of EW. And we'll do so right now, especially with Chris Pratt on the cover, Jurassic World and Guardians of the Galaxy. You know it's going to be a fun issue ahead. The hottest summer shows of 2014, according to Entertainment Weekly and ranked on EW.com, The Bachelorette, listed right here. That would be Andy and Nick. Andy Dorfman and Nick Viall. And by the way, Andy Dorfman is my favorite Bachelorette for obvious reasons. Best author in the franchise. Big Brother, and that actually relates to the polyamorous relationship with one of its contestants, which I'll share at the end of the show. The Leftovers, Masters of Sex, Pretty Little Liars, which lies at the other page. Project Runway, starting July 25th. We should do a Project Runway review sometime soon. So You Think You Can Dance, Teen Wolf, True Blood, and Under the Dome. And as I said, if you want Pretty Little Liars in this issue, you gotta turn the page. For a fabulously funny clip from Aria. Hannah, you're not spontaneous. You make a Pinterest board before you change your nail polish. That would be Aria, aka the wonderful Lucy Hale, a PLO. Hannah's not the only Pretty Little Liar with funny one-liners. Now for the much more substantial March 4th edition. By the way, this is going to be a bigger media frenzy now that Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, are quitting the royal family, so to speak, leaving their royal titles behind. And voluntarily, I may add, so I should get them props, but I don't follow the royal family, although I should. I bring you this Entertainment Weekly ad for their Oscar coverage for one reason, and one reason only. Because production will start soon on my 4th annual Odyssey to the Oscars. Actually, my Odyssey to the Oscars 3.4 edition, because some of the items from last year are being carried over this year. More information can be found by clicking the link below for our complete item listing. You don't want to miss it. Now, let's get to the issues at hand. The TV renewal scorecard. Who's in and who's out. Which broadcast series are safe and which will get the boot. Here's a cheat sheet of the official announcements and where things stand for the shows in limbo. In the yellow Sir Thing category, at the very top, the shows that definitely got renewed. I see The Bachelor on ABC. No big surprise, The Biggest Loser, NBC. We've covered that many times. Extreme Makeover Home Edition. We've yet to cover that. It has a behind the scenes book which I want to check out. I first saw it at the library and I definitely want to buy it soon. Dancing with the Stars, I've done a review for. Hell's Kitchen, I've done a review for. Family Guy, well, come on, that's one of my favorite shows. By the way, Extreme Makeover Home Edition will be returning to television. It's coming to HGTV real soon with host Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family, which, by the way, is also on the Thing renewal list. Law & Order SVU, now in its 21st season. How about that? In the Looking Good section, we have the 90210 reboot from the CW, Celebrity Apprentice. You know what? I never ever want to hear Celebrity Apprentice ever again on television. Desperate Housewives ABC, which we covered. Kitchen Nightmares, which we haven't covered directly. Supernatural, which we've also covered. 50-50 Chance, Bob's Burgers, which we covered. The Danger Zone, in risk of cancellation. And dead and buried. Definitely getting cancelled. And the least deserving, Smallville. Pretty Little Liars was not on any of those lists. And for those who didn't expect the show to be renewed, it was quite disconcerting. But hopefully this provided some relief. The iTunes Top 25. The chart. The most downloaded shows, and at the very top was Gossip Girl and its episode Why You Weren't Sleeping on the CW. Pretty Little Liars ranked at a distant number 10 for their episode The Badass Seed. Pretty Little Liars was still in its relative infancy, so it took a little bit of time before it started to find its footing. Vampire Diaries ranked at number 14 for The Dinner Party on the CW. And nowhere do I see The Bachelor or Bachelorette. So now it's time and take a look at our liars and find out what they're up to this week. By this week, I mean the week of Monday, February 28th, 2011. The title of tonight's episode is Person of Interest, for good reason. By the end of it, the Rosewood police finger one of our precious girls as a possible suspect in Allison's still unsolved death. Thankfully, it's not all heavy. In true liar's fashion, the teen enjoys a rather unexpected makeout session before the cops come calling. Guessing which gal may hit the slammer isn't too difficult, but we're not telling, since that suck all the darkness and fun out of this otherwise juicy hour of television, which Tanner Stransky grades a B. Again, this took a little bit of time to find its footing, but once it did, it earned its rightful place as an American institution and young adult guilty pleasures. Made possible in part by Lucy Hale, Ashley Benson, the wonderful Hannah Marin, and the love of my life. I said it before and I'll say it 1,000 times over, probably going into next year. Spencer Hastings is my one true love. Sorry for the background noise. Now, in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I thought we'd flip the script and discuss Frankie James Grande, one of Big Brother's most infamous contestants. Sorry, Ariana, Frankie's recording artist and Starbucks, whom we'll always remember for those grande-sized lattes. But we've got a new favorite grande. A long while ago, Frankie James Grande thought it would be a smashing idea to enter into a polyamorous relationship with a married couple. This dude dated two guys who were married to each other. In 21 states, including Georgia, such an act is illegal since it falls under adultery laws and can get you imprisoned and or fined. Never mind the public and private backlash you would be facing, like Frankie James Grande did. Ask conservative Christian groups, the same folks that tried to boycott Hallmark over airing a holiday-themed advertisement depicting a same-sex wedding, and they'll give you quite an earful about Frankie James Grande. If you ask Ariana, it's their opinion, the strong-ass steel fan base of Ariana Grande, and they'll give you quite an earful in the opposite direction. But whichever side you take, let's never forget who we are supposed to be honoring today and what. We have made giant strides, yet still have a long ways to go in truly honoring the fundamental values of our democracy that Dr. King and a select few of the Stonewall Brigade in New York 50 years ago have died trying to uphold, protect, and preserve in public nonviolent demonstrations. Should we pelt Frankie James Grande with rocks and stones for entering into a polyamorous relationship with a married gay couple? No. That's just an immediate and cold-hearted facepalm on what Dr. King stood for. Under the Constitution, do we have the right to judge Frankie James Grande in our own private space? Absolutely. If we have a public platform, should we? If you're able to proceed with caution, then have at it. But unless you're able to exercise decent self-restraint, don't. This is our new America. If anyone gives you crap for it, just tell them to take 2 aspirins and call you in the morning. Judge not for the color of your skin, or in this case, for the sexuality of oneself, lest ye be judged by the content of your character. Now, if you don't like Frankie James Grande, how about I bring up an historically appropriate reference point for you? Take, for instance, Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo, the first African-American bachelorette in franchise history, and the first interracial relationship and marriage in franchise history. Even someone as dastardly as Mike Price successfully sees beyond black and white. And how about one more point to drive this issue home? I am white, and I am the product of a black Puerto Rican mother. We too see beyond black and white. The colors of the LGBT flag fly with pride just as much as the colors of the American flag do. And quite frankly, we should all remember in closing not just the words of the great Dr. King, but also the words of the great Louis Kaiser of Wall Street Week, that unlike your mascara when watching The Bachelor or Bachelorette or Pretty Little Liars,
these colors don't run.
These colors do not run. That's all for tonight. I'll catch you on the flip side, and let's all try to remember what really matters in life. Thank you, and good night.